show. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar.
And now, another edition of Wrestling with Attitude from Charlotte, North Carolina, the best wrestling podcast out there today. With your host, the intellectual savior of the masses, The Summit.
If we have any 6'5" women that are interested, Steven's single, lady.
Our D-Generation 6. Bo Generation.
And the mouth of the Carolinas, Little Steven.
Don't be talking to the 18-day champion like that. Bo, conversationalist person.
Bo,
Hey.
horrible.
The former 6-month champ, the melting pot, JP.
Just go back and do that, RVD. Go back to Philadelphia. I'm sure there's a bingo hall. You could sweep the floors, give the old ladies another marker.
Little Steve. And this man makes Wrestling Attitude live to his standards. Dirty Dutch.
I mean, I liked watching Justin Gabriel until he got whooped by Goldberg. You ruined my core.
Yeah. You can listen to us on Stitcher, iTunes, and Spreaker.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook and tweet us at WWA Show. Wrestling with Attitude. Welcome to Wrestling with Attitude. Yeah, that's all the people going, yay. Anyways,
That's about 3 people that did that.
I'm Little Steven. That's the Summit. Welcome on Periscope.
What's up, people?
Let's-
JoJo, Torres, everybody else that's
Torres.
Yeah,
we
Joe
got
Torres.
Eve Torres out here.
Joe Torres, welcome to the show.
Welcome, guys, and let's just get right into it. We're going to dive on into some Raw and SmackDown review, and then we're going to get to some what-ifs and This Week in Wrestling History.
Yeah, let me, as I'm doing Raw, please let me know what you guys think of Raw. When we review Raw, we're going to review TNA a little bit, maybe NXT. No, they didn't have a new show last night.
They did.
Did they? All right, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. SmackDown review.
Because they got a new contender for the...
Okay, we'll talk.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that a little bit. But first, let's get into Raw. This week, they're from New Orleans, the site of WrestleMania 30. Stephanie and Vince come out, and most of the superstars are out on the stage already. Vince says anyone, including Dolph Ziggler, could win the Royal Rumble.
So that means Dolph Ziggler won't win.
Says this is a chance to grab that brass ring. Stephanie says Kevin Owens could win and mark the best calendar year ever. While I'm going over the matches and stuff, you guys let us know who you think is going to win the Rumble, who should win the Rumble, and let us know and we'll talk about it a little bit as I'm trying to follow you guys. Stephanie says, like I said, Kevin Owens could win. Reigns comes out. Vince says tonight we will give him a chance tonight in a 1 versus all match tonight on Raw. Stephanie says it could be anyone, even Ambrose. Vince says no because Ambrose is in a match. Sheamus hits Ambrose from behind. Vince booked Sheamus versus Ambrose. Decent opening.
It was all right.
I don't like when they call out certain wrestlers because you know Dolph Ziggler's probably not going to win the match. Now I know Kevin Owens is probably not going to win the match. He might, but I don't see him winning. What? Go ahead.
mean, I could see them winning if they kill the... If this is the last rivalry between him and Ambrose, which I don't see it being done.
Probably not.
I don't see it being done until at least Fastlane at the earliest. So
I agree with you. But we had Ambrose versus Sheamus. It was a double count out.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens comes out and beats up Ambrose. Renee Young with Ambrose backstage. Vince and Stephanie backstage with Heyman. Stephanie invites Heyman into their locker room to talk. Great to see Heyman on TV again.
it's always great.
Stardust versus Titus. Real fast, Stardust, in case you didn't see his face paint and stuff, David Bowie inspired face paint. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Titus wins with sit-down powerbomb. Stardust hits Titus from behind. So we'll see another match between these two. Bring out Cody Rhodes, please.
I think by the end of it, you will see Cody. I think they're leading to it.
Right. There was a tease also. He tweeted out mysterious something about he may at the Rumble see something different. Jericho with the highlight reel. New Day comes out. Usos come out. Jericho says we have a New Day with Woods versus Usos with Jericho in their corner. Usos versus New Day. Jericho broke the trombone. Usos win with a roll-up. And that was that match. Real fast, I wanted to talk about one thing about Jericho. After the match, they were on the bus, and he tweeted out the boys on the bus, out at the back of the bus. The back of the bus boys is what he said. So there's been a lot of racial stuff coming out this week about Jericho shouldn't have said that. I'm not African American, so it's hard for me to say how it should be. But to me, when I saw what he tweeted or said, I didn't take offense to it. No. Of course, like I said, I'm not African American, so I would hope people that are African American or any other race would not take offense to it, because I don't think he meant it that way.
No.
To him, look, WWE is family. When you're a part of it, you're part of family. It doesn't matter what race, gender, age, anything. It does not matter as far as I can tell in that locker room. And I've been watching that wrestling my whole life. And I've never – they have pushed the borderlines on many things, but to me, that's just – and Jericho did that. I don't see it happening on purpose. Hopefully everything is right. He tweeted down the note. Yeah, JoJo said he tweeted it. Yeah, he tweeted it, and I hope it didn't offend people that way, because I don't think it meant to go across that way. And, because I absolutely love that Jericho is with the Usos. I do like that, and I understand. And they're all family, man. They're all family there. It doesn't matter. But anyway, move on from that. Stephanie with Heyman. Heyman says Brock Lesnar no. He will not be in the Rumble. Stephanie says Lesnar will compete in the Rumble. JBL says Sting is the first WWE Hall of Fame inductee in the ring.
Okay.
Early rumors for other people that's going to be in the Hall of Fame. JBL is a rumor to be in.
Really?
Yep. That's one rumor. Jacqueline is another rumor that she's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. They're both from Texas, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Look for Mark Henry. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mark Henry because this is his last year anyway.
Well, they talked about he wants that to be like this Royal Rumble is going to be his swan song.
Right. He's done after Mania. His contract's over.
Yeah.
This is his last run. Look for him maybe to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other people that I read.
Fabulous Freebirds?
Of course, Fabulous Freebirds is – dude, there's no way the Fabulous Freebirds will not get in the Hall of Fame this year. If they do, Michael P.S. Hayes needs to quit WWE because it would be ludicrous to not get in. Yeah, I said ludicrous.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I know.
I'm not helping you on that.
You see, I'm hoping you would play the song when I said ludicrous, but you didn't.
Didn't have it.
Sorry. But those are some. Jacqueline's rumored to get in. JBL.
JBL.
There's some other ones. Ray Stevens, of course, is rumored to get in.
Really?
Like every year. He was rumored the last couple years and didn't get in. So hopefully he will this year. We'll see who else. We'll see who gets inducted next week. But definitely look for the Freebirds and JBL coming up, and most likely Jacqueline. After that, the Wyatts come out. The Social Outcasts come out. Look, why do they have to come out to Heath Slater's 3-man band song.
Because they don't want to make any more music.
I could do a remix. I would have done a bad remix with Heath Slater, Bo Dallas, and Adam Rose.
We're the
music.
social outcasts. That's what it should have been.
No, or all you got to do is Bo leave into social outcast,
Yeah.
or something, and then add a little bit of Curse Axel music to it. Man, I would have had the perfect.
It wouldn't have been bad.
Outcast, yeah.
No, that would have been pretty good, to tell you the truth.
Axel says a new family is in town. 4 chains and 1 link. I'm trying to.
I'm trying to understand what they're trying to say.
4 chains and 1 link.
I don't get it.
They are here for a fight, they say. It's the Wyatts versus Social Outcasts. Ryback comes out, and Social Outcast saves Ryback. Is he the newest member of Social Outcast?
Yeah, because he's such a social outcast.
He should be. Can you imagine that? Hey, that would be a killer group. I'm just saying. You got Bo Dallas, Curse
Okay.
Axel, Heath Slater, Adam Rose even. And then you put Ryback in the mix. You got a family. There's no more social outcast than that. This would be the greatest thing since, I'm trying to remember, the Oddities. This would be the greatest thing since the Oddities.
Move on. No, you just said one of the worst things that I've ever heard on the show.
The Oddities.
You
I mean,
cannot compare Social Outcasts to the Oddities.
I can. That's how bad it is.
Cannot.
That's
no,
how
but
bad
the
it
Oddities
is.
at least had Sable. The Oddities had Sable.
The Oddities had
Sable was part of the Oddities.
for
There's-
like 3 weeks.
doesn't matter. There's no one that is Sable's level.
Well, no, you can add somebody. You can add a girl. I mean, that's not an issue.
Yeah, what, you want to put Sasha Banks with the Social Outcast? That would be stupid. No, don't even think about it. That's stupid.
No, you can put Becky with them. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, she
Nah.
needs somebody.
Put Paige
I'm
with
for
them.
her.
You don't have anything else for Paige to do?
Well, Paige is out concussion right now. She ain't coming back.
Ooh, I didn't know
That
that.
was another. Yeah, she's out concussion. She should be back soon though.
Okay.
Next up, we have Del Rio versus Kalisto for the U.S. title, and Kalisto wins is the new U.S. champ for one day. In case you didn't know, I'll go ahead and spill the beans. No pun intended.
Spill it.
Kalisto loses the U.S. Championship on SmackDown on Tuesday. So if you watch SmackDown this week, I'm sorry to inform you, Kalisto loses.
But it's okay, because we weren't the first ones to inform you. You want to know who informed you first? That's right. WWE decides to do a spoiler on a show that they want to get people to watch.
Yep.
So now I'm not going to watch SmackDown because if anything good happens, WWE is just going to go ahead and tell me. So
Well, next up,
shot themselves in the foot.
They did. Next was JoJo with Charlotte and Rick backstage. Charlotte versus Brie Bella. Becky attacked Charlotte. Charlotte leaves, and the match is thrown out because Charlotte is injured. Horrible. Becky is backstage with JoJo. Because actually there was a Divas match on SmackDown, her versus Charlotte Flair for the Divas title. It was not advertised well. Charlotte wins the match with a roll-up help from Ric Flair, in case you guys want to watch SmackDown. Next is Roman Reigns versus 14 other guys. Kevin Owens starts it off, always in the ring at one time. Lesnar comes out. He clears the ring. He F5s Roman Reigns. And there's your Raw review. Go ahead.
Okay, and my one thing. It wasn't really a one versus all at first because Kevin Owens was in the match the whole time. It was just Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, and then they got mad and they all got in there.
Right. No, it was Kevin Owens. It was Kevin Owens until the last 2 minutes of the match. And then everybody got in there.
So are they trying to foreshadow something? Are they trying to tell us that we might see a match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns?
I think you will at some point.
I mean-
now, do I see it at WrestleMania?
No.
Possibility. I would do that. I would do that match over Reigns versus Triple H
I don't know.
for the title.
Really?
That would tear the building down. The problem with that The problem with that,
What do you do with
what are you
Ambrose?
going to do with Triple H?
Oh.
Because if you put Roman Reigns against Kevin Owens, you ain't got nobody else. You ain't got nobody against
So do you do
Undertaker.
Triple H and Brock?
You ain't got nobody versus Undertaker or Brock. Then you will have to put two of them together again.
Yeah.
And you can't do that at WrestleMania.
No,
That-
but Triple H and Brock would be okay because they've only
No,
fought
they've
once.
done that. You've been there, done that.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
If you're going to the only possible solution I see for Brock Lesnar is Batista. That's it.
Brock Lesnar versus Mr. McMahon coming to you WrestleMania.
Three-way match. Who's in the three-way match, JoJo? He said a three-way match. You could do Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and Lesnar.
Yeah.
But we saw Roman Reigns and Lesnar last year in a three-way match. It was a triple threat match.
Yeah.
You say what you want. It was a triple threat match. That's what they said on the match. And it's so funny because during the match they called it a triple threat match. After they called it a triple threat match, but they made no reference to it being a triple threat match last year. It was Seth Rollins cashing in.
Yeah, that's all.
And it was a three-way match.
It was technically a three-way match. It was. So, well, that is our Raw and SmackDown review. Well,
Yeah.
a little bit of that. If you have any questions or if you want to learn more about it, go to WrestlingWithAttitude.com.
Well, real fast on SmackDown, Dean Ambrose kicks off SmackDown. Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose is a last man standing match at the Rumble. That's going to be a great match. That's going to be a great match. Dudley Boys defeated Luke Harper and Eric Rowan in the first match of the night. Braun Strowman attacked the Dudleys and put them both through tables. JoJo interviews the new U.S. champion Kalisto. He says he's much like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. He is going to thrive in the land of giants.
All right, so for those that are still listening, because you didn't turn off after that statement, it's a horrible statement.
I can see Triple H versus Roman versus Kevin. Yeah, I can see
A
that.
three-way of
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Ah.
Then we had Social Outcast defeated Jack Swagger, get this, Zack Ryder, Goldust, and Damien Sandow, who you did see on TV on Raw this past week.
Did he have the rope?
Yes, he had the rope on. The rope.
The rope?
Yeah. So I'm going to have to watch SmackDown just to see Damien Sandow.
Oh, I would.
Anyway, the Social Outcast won. Del Rio won against Kalisto. Becky Lynch defeated Brie Bella, so it was not. That was last week. Dean Ambrose and Neville versus Kevin Owens and Sheamus in a tag team main event. There was it ended up in outside the ring, no contest.
All right. Well.
So that is that. Did you get a chance to watch NXT?
No. We'll talk about. Well, all I know that happened because I actually watched a little bit of it was there was a number one contender for the Divas Championship,
Okay.
and the number one contender they had a brawl. They had a battle royal kind of type.
Right. I knew they were having
And
that.
the number one contender is Carmella.
Yep. I did hear about that.
And I'm glad about that. I think those two could have a good rivalry. I think they can because they
Here, go ahead. Finish.
I think they could because Carmella's one of those that we don't know a lot about yet. Like we've seen her wrestle, but we haven't really, if that makes any sense. Like
Right.
she's still got potential we haven't seen. And I think with her and Bayley actually being friends and having chemistry with each other would help. So I think those two might work.
I disagree because, look, when you like somebody so much and the way them two are like that, there's sometimes that can be an issue.
Yeah.
Okay? The best rivalries in wrestling are those that aren't like that. Okay? I'll go back to one, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. No, they weren't tied together. To me, you didn't see Sting and Lex Luger a lot. There's a reason for that. They were close.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, the best matches are is when you don't like that person across the ring.
Yeah.
Or you at least, you have, I just, because when you do a drop kick a certain way, when you throw somebody in a turnbuckle, do you really put everything into it? I know Bailey's going to because of the way she wrestles. I worry more about Carmella because if she throws her in this ring and she hurts her accidentally, or she's going to be like, oh, she really hurt or is she okay?
Yeah.
And Carmella was hurt not too long ago. I
Yeah.
like Carmella. I don't know if I like them putting Bailey versus Carmella. Because unless you're going to turn one of them.
And you might. That's the thing, because you can turn Carmella. You can turn Carmella like that because Enzo and Cass, it doesn't really matter. They're not really faces. They're not really heels. They're tweeners. You
Right.
could do whatever the heck.
Carmella?
No, Enzo and Cass, who she's part of.
They're faces, but yeah.
But you can do whatever you want. with them.
And they're trying to distance her from them.
Which is good. They need to.
Because she's a single wrestler
Yeah.
now. JoJo asked, do we think that NXT guys will take over for the injured guys? Some of them, I think they will. All right. I think you bring up Finn Balor. Yeah, I think you put him. This is the time for these NXT stars to go ahead and be brought up and let them run with the ball.
No,
because
this is
you make new superstars now. When
Mm-hmm.
John Cena's out, when all these other Seth Rollins is out, now is when you make stars out of these other people.
And then when you bring all those guys back, you have some of the best rivalries that you will ever get.
Because if you think about this, you bring up Finn Balor right now, you give him 6 months to be a main guy. You bring back John Cena, oh my goodness. I got one better. You got Finn Balor. You bring back Seth Rollins at SummerSlam next year. Dude, you got a rivalry for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, not just Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, but now you got Finn Balor. You got Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe needs to be up there now.
Well, Samoa Joe and John Cena need to have a rivalry.
Samoa Joe needs to have a rivalry with John Cena. He needs to have one with Kevin Owens on the main roster.
Yeah.
They didn't have a rivalry, really. They had one match, I think. That was it. So, Baron Corbin is another guy. There's a lot of guys they need to bring up now and capitalize. Because NXT, you can refill some of these other guys.
Yeah.
You can push back down or do whatever. All right. You got anything else?
No. Let's go into what if.
Go ahead, play the music.
Just go ahead and do your what if.
No, play the music.
We don't have it.
What do you mean you ain't got it?
It's not there. That's why I just said let's go into the what if. Unless you want me to sing it myself, I can do that.
Do you want me to find it real fast?
No. We literally, it's not here. So
it is there. I'll show. I'm sorry that Steven can't find the music this week.
Yeah, thanks.
He was itching. All right. What if Randy Savage would have beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 5? What if Savage would beat Hogan instead of Hogan beating Savage?
Savage Mania, man. Nothing but Savage Mania. That's all that would happen, man. I don't know. Hulk Hogan. I don't think Hulk Hogan would have ran wild anymore. I think you would have had a great rivalry too. You would have saw more of Savage and Hogan, and Savage would have been that number one guy, even though he already was. He would have been that number one guy with Hogan, I think. I don't know how you feel about that, but I mean, I think that's a toughie, man, because Hogan was already made when he slammed Andre, and Hulkamania was there, but if Savage won, I think it would have changed the game. I think it would have just been a lot more. I think it would have been... You would have seen more of them together. You would have saw more of them because, think about it, you didn't see Savage and Hogan later on after this match. You didn't. You never really saw them battle later, so I don't understand. I guess Savage would have been the number one heel in the company. You would have never saw Ultimate Warrior versus Hogan. You would have. I don't think you would, because I think you would have had a big rivalry between those two.
I might get JoJo and other people might kill me for this, but I would have been okay with no Ultimate Warrior and Hogan.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, dude, we saw the one. Let me say this. It was a hell of a run for Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 5 to WrestleMania 7. But honestly, I just, we saw some, I ain't going to say good matches. We saw some good rivalries. Him versus Rick Rude, him versus Honky Tonk Man in 20 seconds. Him versus Randy Savage.
It was good.
The biggest thing we wouldn't have seen is we wouldn't have seen Ultimate Warrior the next year at WrestleMania 6. But Randy Savage would have, I think if Randy would have beat Hogan, he would have been there as a champion longer. I think you could have built around Savage. I think personally that's one of the biggest regrets Vince ever had. Having Hogan beat Savage and then pushing Savage to the side. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes he ever did. You basically buried Randy Savage after this match. Even though he was the king, I'm sorry, after this match, or they should have a feud again. And they never did.
They never did.
They never had a rematch at SummerSlam or the Rumble or, WrestleMania next year.
I mean,
they could have done Randy Savage and Hogan at WrestleMania 6 and would have sold the place out.
I mean, next time he had a match with Hogan was in WCW.
Yeah, and it wasn't the same.
No.
These two were in their primes, at WrestleMania, this career. Savage was always in his prime to me, but Hogan and him, I think you could capitalize more. Yeah. I think that Hogan and Savage would have sold more than Ultimate Warrior and Hogan.
Yeah,
at the next WrestleMania, and the next 3. I mean, WrestleMania 7 was Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter. I know you had to do that. We got time for one more. Yeah? No? All right. No?
No, sorry.
All right, well, go ahead and go.
Unless you want to, if you want to do it, let's do it.
No, go ahead if you want.
Right.
If you got this week.
Well, I got some this week in wrestling history. But first of all, I want to say that was a good what if, because it's true. If that would have happened, you would have saw Hogan. I think you would have, the money just would have been flowing for those two. And I don't think you would have ever saw them in WCW. Neither one of them.
Nope.
I don't. This week in wrestling history, January 11th, 1921, Lucha Libre legend and the Guerrero wrestling family, Gory Guerrero, was born, Ray, Arizona. Let's move a little bit farther in wrestling here. January 11, 1993, WWE Raw debuts from the Manhattan Center in New York. The first ever Raw. January 11th. January 11th, 2009, TNA held Genesis in Charlotte, North Carolina. Don't know if you remember that one.
When was that?
That was in 2009. The TNA frontline, Mick Foley, AJ Styles, and Brother Devon defeated the main event Mafia, Booker T, and Scott Steiner, and Kip James in a 6-man hardcore tag team match.
Where was I at? Where does it say where that was at?
It says it was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
It doesn't say where though, right?
Nah, doesn't say where.
All right,
January 13th, 1993, WCW held Clash of Champions in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The main event was Dustin Rhodes, Sting, and Cactus Jack defeated Big Van Vader, Paul Orndorff, and Barry Windham in a Thunder Cage match. January 14th, 1954, Jim Duggan was born in Glens Falls, New York.
It was in Bojangles Coliseum.
Bojangles? Okay. January 14, 2001, WCW held Sin in Indianapolis, Indiana. In the main event, Scott Steiner defeated Jeff Jarrett, Sid Vicious, and Animal in a Four Corners match to retain the WCW
Don't ever mention
championship.
that again.
Was it bad?
Sin?
Oh,
Yeah, it
all
was
right, never
horrible.
mind.
There's a reason they called it Sin. Because it was absolutely horrible. It was simple to watch.
All right, January 15th, 1970, Shane McMahon was born in Grittichburg, Maryland. And January 15th,
Shane
1987, yes.
Maryland?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Shane McMahon was born in Maryland? I have been deprived all my life. I thought you was born in the mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut. You were from Maryland? Dude, there ain't no rough. You're rough everywhere. That's rough streets. Greenwich, Connecticut. Come on, man. I bought the whole character this whole time, and you robbed my childhood.
Well, and let me end it on this note, because I know you love this person. January 15th, 1987, Kelly was born. Barbara
1980?
Blank. 1987.
Barbara Blank?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's still out there.
Jacksonville, Florida.
1988, right?
87.
She's close to my age.
What do you mean close to your age?
She's only 10 years off. 11.
Oh, that's close? Okay.
Hey, yeah. All right. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it for us here at Wrestling with Attitude. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, JoJo and Joe Torres. See you guys next week.
We'll see you guys next week. Like us on Facebook. Tweet us at WWA Show. Also, if you're looking for other shows and anything, check out WrestlingWithAttitude.com. See you next time. Have a good one.
Time I feel the past, it's always there, but it can't last. It's a game we play to fight.